I'm with the band. Music and interviews you're going to like.
Hello and welcome to I'm with the Band here on the Mesh Podcast Network. I am your host, Andrew Moose. I'm with the band. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. We invite musicians and bands of all types to discuss their current projects, their touring life, and their lives as musicians. This episode of I'm with the Band is produced in partnership with the No Contact Concert Series, Codex Sound, and Midwood Entertainment. If you're considering advertising on the Mesh Podcast Network, it's a super low-cost option to reach a targeted audience. And I've heard the only people who listen to podcasts have a ton of money, and all they want to do is spend it with your business. And your ad could be right here instead of having to listen to me banter about advertising. Today, we are currently remote podcasting away from the beautiful Mesh Studios in downtown Hickory, North Carolina, and we are currently smack dab in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. During this pandemic, Codex Sound and Midwood have been putting on the No Contact Concert Series, which helps bands and fans interact with one another via the World Wide Web. My guests today on I'm with the Band are playing the No Contact Concert Series this Saturday, May 23rd. I'd like to welcome Abby Bryant and Bailey Faulkner from DownTown Abbey and the Echoes to the podcast. Thanks for coming on, guys. How are y'all today?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hi, Andrew.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for coming on. We're excited to hear you guys play this Saturday. It's going to be a fantastic show. I got to put ears on a bunch of your music. You guys have earned a fan here. I'm really digging what you guys are doing. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot. We've most recently I have a couple singles out, and we're excited about that. It's come a long way since our first EP. Our sound's really developing, so we're excited with what we're doing in the recording studio right now.
Yeah, and we can't wait for you guys to get a chance to hear the full album that will also include these more recent singles.
Yeah, and you mentioned your style, and I don't want to put anybody, pigeonhole anybody, but it's funky, it's R&B, it's a little jammy. Predominantly female vocals, and I think that's kind of a growing trend, with Tedeschi Trucks Band, Grace Potter, Asheville's own, The Broadcast. I personally really like the trend, and I think it's what our scene needs, to be quite honest. It's refreshing seeing all these female vocalists, basically emerge, and it's great. Abby is, those bands that I rattle off there, I'm sure you gain inspiration from those folks, right?
Yes, absolutely. I was gonna already say you named a few of our favorites, people that we've drawn inspiration from for a long time, especially right here in Asheville. We happen to know The Broadcast and also love their music, and I actually saw them back in the day when I was in college before our band formed, and so Caitlin is an inspiration to me as well. That's really cool.
Yeah, we had Caitlin and The Broadcast come to Hickory's Oktoberfest a few years ago, and they blew the roof off the place. It was fantastic. That band is really really gaining some steam too. And you guys are both kind of out of the Asheville music scene, so granted, we are in smack dab in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the music scene's kind of, well, it's non-existent right now. So, but what do you think is going to come out of this, and especially with the Asheville area music scene?
Well, I try to stay on the side of optimism here, and hope that, not just hope, but I truly think that people will come out of this with a fresh sense of hunger for the arts. I hope that is with the venues that are able to stay open, which I am hoping for them as well, because it's a hard time. But I know that people will be dying to get out of the house, dying to consume some new material. And right now I see our role as the artists to stay in and stay safe and be working on developing that material as much as we can right now, to be ready and up and run, to go running, when the time is right and people are ready. And I think that we'll see just a new fire at our concerts, and I think that's true for the whole music and festival scene.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think people are going to be ripping ready to go as soon as we're able to. And, that's what us musicians, we live and breathe off that interaction with crowd and interaction with our bandmates. That's what it's all about. Just being around different musicians of different creeds and I guess different scenes. Like, what do you guys see more collaboration in the Asheville music scene than you see in other places? Because honestly, when I look and I see different bands and I see, Asheville musician friends of mine, they're playing in a bunch of different groups. Is that kind of what's going on with your group too? Is there a lot of other side projects going on, or is this basically your main focus?
Well, yeah, you're right. Up here in Asheville, there is a super solid community of musicians, and a lot of people do other side projects and everything. As far as our band goes, before all our gigs were canceled, we were doing anywhere from 3 to 4 shows a week. So in a way, we don't necessarily have the time for any side projects or anything like that, but always down to jam with people, and love kind of pairing up with bands that we're friends with, especially for doing code bills and shows around town and everything. So,
right, yeah, I just saw on your website that you guys toured, did a stint in Colorado with the new Master Sounds. Tell me about that.
That was awesome.
It was so incredible, and we were blown away by just their kindness and their spirit of hospitality towards us. We didn't know what to expect from musicians of their caliber that we had already looked up to for so long. So, we felt a little like starstruck going into it. And then we were shocked by just how comfortable and easy and inspiring everything was. And we got to play some of the coolest venues we'd ever played. To some of the most awesome crowds. It was really special.
And that was, we're up until then, we were pretty strictly East Coast, mostly the South, but definitely all in the East. So that was our first trip ever going out West. And that was a great way to do the first out West tour for sure.
Yeah, for sure. What venues did you guys play out there?
A really, really cool one was Sheridan Opera House. I believe that was Telluride. Yep. That was really special. Gorgeous venue. And
Caribou Room in Nederland. That was the last night of our tour. And
wonderful crowd there. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
And we were in Winter Park as well, at Uller's Tavern. So
the vibe at Uller's was laid back and awesome.
That was an interesting one because we were coming from Telluride to Winter Park, and on the way there was a bit of a blizzard. So we got stuck in Vail, and so did the new Master Sounds. So ended up they couldn't all make it to the gig, but we were able to get there just in time. And we were able to do our first set with the Joe, the new Master Sounds keys player, sat in for our first set there. So it was kind of scary getting there, but it was a really fun night once it started.
It was awesome. Yeah. And then just, we kind of spontaneously ended up playing to the entirety of the new Master Sounds crowd too.
Yeah, that
was cool. We were glad we were able to fill in and,
yeah, 100%. And that works for a lot of things, especially in the festival scene too. When you go to any festival and to go see a handful of bands you might like, and then all of a sudden you catch Downtown Abbey and the Echoes on a shared bill with somebody you never heard of them before, and all of a sudden you're new fans. And I love how music happens like that, and how people can spread the gospel of good music that way.
Amen.
So talk to me a little bit about the new single "Roll With Me." Abby, did you write that song?
Bailey and I co-wrote that song. If I recall correctly, I believe he kind of brought a little bit of a groove and a chord progression initially, which is how a lot of our songs are written. And I added a lot of the melody and lyrics. I was the main contributor for that. So yeah, that was us together. And we hope people resonate with that one. I'm excited that it's representative of the new sound that we're growing into right now.
can't unwind. Me, I want something more. You're always running for the door. Turn back the time. What I do, yeah, what I do to make you mine. If you're gonna roll with me, gotta take the punches too. Oh, I do the same for you. I'm dying for you to fill me up. And I'm just standing here, holding out my cup. Just when I think you take me high, you leave me hanging out to dry. And you know I've been feeling down. I spent all my time hoping that you'd come around. And some say you done me wrong.
As a band, what is your favorite venue that you have played so far?
Ooh, I'm a really big fan of the Poorhouse in Raleigh. I love going there. We've been there a good bit, and I don't know. What about you, Abby?
That's definitely one of my favorites, and has been for a long time. As far as a new favorite that comes to mind for me is, like we had just mentioned, the Caribou Room, our last night of the tour with the New Master Sounds. I think just with that the upper level and just the crowd there and all the memories, it was so exciting. It's just a really nice layout of a room and just great energy there. I'll always remember that place.
Yeah, another one that comes to mind for me is the Poorhouse in Charleston too.
Yeah, is the Poorhouse, is that a franchise? I've been to the Poorhouse in Raleigh, but I have not been to the Poorhouse in Charleston.
They're actually not the same thing. I had to ask the question before. I think that's just, maybe a semi-common name for a venue, but no,
Gotcha.
They're totally different.
Yeah, it definitely is a great name for a venue. So we've talked a little bit about these two singles, Roll With Me and Hold Me. And we talked offline just a few minutes ago, and these two tracks are going to be on an upcoming album, correct?
Right.
Right.
When is that going to come out?
a little bit up in the air. The original plan was to have that come out in April, but we wanted to have that coincide with doing like a album release tour. And now that that's not an option, we're kind of gravitating more towards the releasing singles once every few weeks and kind of plan what we're going to do with like the full album release from there.
Right. And yeah, with things being so, strange and unprecedented right now, we figure people are at home looking for new material, new art to absorb. And so we're thinking the whole one single at a time, just kind of take it bit by bit right now. And
sure, and I definitely see the trickle out approach I've coined that phrase, by the way, is really starting to become the norm, and I like the trend. I think it's a really cool way, especially with the way music is being released on streaming platforms. People can get just a little bit at a time, and it keeps them interested. It's basically just dangling the carrot in front of them instead of just dumping a whole basket of carrots in front of them.
Absolutely, and with as much material as just the vast amount of material available online right now, I think a full-length album, while I love my albums, a full-length album can be a lot for people to digest at once. So I'm digging the approach as well, even though it's not what we were initially going for.
Yeah, it also helps for us. It's not like we're really writing songs for it to be part of like a concept album or anything like that. We're kind of focused on melody-driven, pop-oriented, but kind of just melody-driven, chorus-driven songs that they do a little bit better as just singles and stuff. It doesn't really lose anything for it to not be a part of a full album.
This podcast is sponsored by Jackson Creative, a custom communication agency located in downtown Hickory, North Carolina, specializing in online content creation. To learn more, visit thejacksoncreative.com. Jackson Creative, we tell your story.
I see so many different platforms that bands are utilizing, and during this time, have you guys done much of the online streaming? What do you guys think about that?
We have. We're especially really looking forward to this one coming up. Like we said, it'll be a little bit more similar to a live show than some of the others that we've done. But yeah, we recently did, like, what was it called? Couchilla with the Broadberry in Richmond. They visited us for that. We've also done a handful of others.
Beach Mountain.
Yeah, we also did one for a watch party with Beach Mountain Ski Resort. That was really cool. So yeah, we've been working our way into that more and more, and it seems like our schedule with those is going to be pretty consistent. We keep hearing of more opportunities since it doesn't look like anything is opening up right now. That's our path forward for the time being.
We've got another one scheduled for next week here in Asheville too. So
awesome.
Try to keep busy with it.
So if folks want to get in touch with you guys and find out all the updates and shows and get your merch and buy your music, how can they find you?
Facebook, we're all over Facebook and Instagram. Just look up the band name. We also have a website, DownTownAbbeyBand.com.
The website also includes our full shop with our merch and everything, so they can purchase there.
Awesome. And, just looking out your website, guys, I see all these great shows that unfortunately aren't going to happen for you guys. And and it's looking out, I can't wait to see you guys at Floyd Fest next year. I talked to, who was it the last band I talked to about Floyd Fest, and it just got me so pumped up. I was like, I gotta go check that festival out, and you guys are going to be playing it. And, if the stars align, and that's going to be great to see.
Well, that out of all the cancellations so far, that one hurt the worst for me.
Yeah,
I bet, man. I bet.
We had such excitement with the On the Rise competition last year, and we're so excited to come back. So that one was really a heartbreaker. But
yeah, had 5 sets lined up and everything. Had a couple of special kind of tribute sets worked in there too. But we're looking forward to 2021 at Floyd Fest.
And we know that, like I said, I can't wait for the energy that I think is going to, come back with just such vigor I hope to see from people. And I know that that's true for the Floyd Fest crowd.
Yeah.
Everybody is just on the edge of their seat ready for Floyd Fest 2020.
Right.
And those guys are so supportive of us and everything too. They're really doing a lot to help bands like help host their watch parties and live streams and everything now. So we love them.
Yeah,
no doubt. And you can catch Downtown Abbey and the Echoes this Saturday on the No Contact Concert Series. And you can catch that live stream at crowdless.com on the No Contact Concert Series Facebook page and a few other things. Just use your Google machine and find out. I'd like to thank Abby Bryant and Bailey Faulkner from Downtown Abbey and the Echoes for coming in on I'm With the Band here on The Mesh. We'd love for you to head over to themesh.tv and check out all of our other shows on the network and subscribe to them. Guys, thanks so much for coming. What's this last song we're going to hear?
So, yeah, Hold Me is, the way I see it, is sort of like a soul song mixed in with a little bit of I'm a big like George Harrison fan. So especially near the outro on that one, I think that kind of has some Beatles vibes to it. But with that one, we're looking at sort of a more old school soul vibe, kind of.
Yeah, and with that same concept, I think one of my favorite features of Hold Me is the outro. Towards the end of the song, we create this kind of wall of sound almost with these really lush harmonies that we've layered together to support the melody and in the way that a lot of our old school tunes that we love, the way that they capture that as well. So I think that's probably my favorite feature of the tune and what makes it unique compared to some of the other songs that we've created so far.
You're the man of the hour, and you know that you are. Yes. Haven't found your place yet, but you know that you'll